Welcome. We are back. Another week upon us in the market. It was a mixed day. Nothing too crazy happened today, but there is a lot of setups heading into the week that I want to talk about. Hope everybody had a good weekend. What's up, Dividend Bull, Danny, Tenderfoot, and that. And yeah, today, down this music a little bit. Today I only took one trade, didn't even really alert it or anything. I was in Twitter Spaces with Wolf this morning. That's like the only place I really talked about it. I did put it in our new channel, which we're debating keeping in the Discord. There's a trade recaps channel. And as you can see, this is really all I traded today, which is just kind of this Tesla breakout. I wonder if that ended up being the exact high of day where I took profits, but early in the morning I did see Tesla. Well, I already had my daily bias, right? So I already had the daily bias. I saw it broke out of the wedge. It had these next two levels on the daily chart, or their historical levels, as you can see from the past. So on the 5-minute time frame, this morning I saw that it was breaking above this high from last Thursday and then this high from last Friday. So the second I saw it break above that level, I hopped right into calls on Tesla, and wow, I did actually end up taking profits at the exact high of day. A few others in the Twitter Spaces I was in this morning were also in Tesla calls. And I remember I was like, I'm taking profits, and some of them were saying like, you know, let it ride, let Tesla ride. And like, usually, yes, like Tesla is a name that like you can kind of let ride a lot of the times to make huge gains. But you can look at the time over here. I don't know why my time scale looks so weird. But if you look at the time over here, that's about 10... Let me fix this. This is really upsetting. Where do we do the time scales? How can you change the color of that? It shouldn't be this way. Let's try refreshing. So the time on this is kind of important. There we go. That looks fine. Go back to Tesla on the 5-minute. It's just Tesla, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just a 5-minute. So this was about 10:20 a.m. Eastern time. If we take a look at the Qs on the 5-minute, let's see. It's really hard to tell. I'm sure you can see like the bottom where the time is, like it's all like the same color and it's like overlapped. I'm gonna fix that off stream, but we look at 10:20, it's basically this high. Okay, so the reason I took profits pretty much at the high of day on Tesla, apart from me just being the best trader of all time, of course, just kidding, was I saw the QQQ hit this resistance level, and I'm like, okay, it's probably going to pull back a little bit. So I ended up taking profits. It was only a 20% gain. The contracts were moving horribly this morning. Should have been, like, with that price movement on Tesla, I think it should have been like a 40% gain at least, but whatever. And the Qs did end up recovering later in the day and breaking above last week's highs, but Tesla just really couldn't catch up. So we will come back to the market in a second. There's a lot to talk about here. I mean, can you believe it? We were 1 point away from the QQQ hitting all-time highs today. So this is a pretty historic moment, but you know the drill. We're going to get started with the boring stuff for a lot of you, which is the crypto and the other markets. But I just want to talk about Bitcoin on the daily right now. First off, you have hidden bullish divergence, and this could be a beautiful bull flag breakout in the making. It's just pattern after pattern. You have your range, you break it to the upside. You create a ascending triangle, you break it to the upside. You create a bull flag, you're breaking it to the upside. And you also printed a bullish engulfing candle today. This is a textbook bullish continuation pattern for Bitcoin. On the 4-hour, you can see that double bottom coming in at 40K. Absolutely beautiful. I think this could take it to new highs of the rally. If we look at Ethereum, look at that. Got the liquidity sweep right over here, pretty much a bullish pin bar, right down to previous supply. Dipped even a little bit lower than our December 11th lows and had a huge bullish pin bar rally. Pretty much the same type of flag price action taking place here, even though it's not broken out for right now. I'm gonna make this a little bit of a different color so it's visible. So if we look at, I believe Mara and Riot were both up after hours. If we take a look at those charts, on the daily, Mara just put in another new high since the swing alert. It's already hit all targets, but this is pretty much almost doubled since the swing alert. and it is now matching the highs from July. I think it should break them, and believe it or not, on the daily time frame, you have a small resistance at 24, but your next major resistance is 31. If MAR is to go to the next major resistance, then off the lows it put in October, that could be a 300% gain if it goes. And it's only halfway there. I'm not saying it's going to go there. It's definitely not going to go there without a pullback. Or it's definitely, yeah, that's the right way to put it. And if we look at Riot, I was actually watching this intraday, but I was on the floor, so I had to just kind of watch it from the sidelines. You have this kind of inverse head and shoulders looking structure, and it did break above really where I was putting in highs last Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, which was $16. It broke above that today. So nice move there for Riot. Riot's almost at the final target of the swing trade. Again, these were all alerted for free. Riot was alerted as a swing down here at $10. The second target is $17 pretty much, and it's at $16.40. So very close to the final target. Continuing on with the other markets, let's talk about some bonds now. Dividend Bull says, when are you and Bueller doing the live stream? On Saturday, we are going to be doing the live webinar. So if anybody wants to join that, it's the pinned chat, whop.com/championvibe, WHOP.com/championvibe. If you use code CHAMP, or if you use code Bueller, or if you use code Jordan, whichever one you want to use, you get $5 off. So it goes from $24 to $19 and something. So it's literally 19 bucks, 3 hours of education. We already have 5 confirmed speakers. We have Jordan, Bueller, and myself, and then 2 other guest speakers. So we already have 5 confirmed speakers, and you can get that for 20 bucks, and it's recorded. You can play it back as many times as you want. You can ask us any questions you have about trading, taking place this Saturday. Even if you can't make it live, if you have plans for Saturday, I know it's pretty much Christmas weekend, you can always go back and watch the recording. And if any of you join and you can't make it live, but you still have questions you want to ask me, literally just DM me on Twitter, and I'm more than happy to answer your question. All right, so in chat over there, make sure you use the code. I want you to get $5 off. All right, scam me for $5, please do it. So let's talk about bonds. The US 10-year pretty much doing nothing, going sideways. It broke down from the 200 moving average. It's not looking good in my opinion. But the 2-year got a nice hammer candle off this exact support we were looking at, 4.27%. And you also have the classic bullish divergence. So maybe a little bit of a bounce here. Could lead to a bounce in the 10-year in a couple of days. We will see. Quick look at the VIX. Not much to talk about here. I did get a question. I think it was from the lump in the Discord. And I already answered it. But basically, yeah, the VIX isn't great to use technical analysis on, especially not since, I would say not since like probably March of this year is when I would say it kind of stopped working the way it usually has worked in the past few years. Like this whole entire chunk of price action has just been kind of bad. It's just relatively just been going sideways as the market's been going up. And that's kind of what happens. Like if you think about it, like it just goes lower and lower, but you can really only go so it's a volatility index, right? Joe H says, where do we enter the code? Let me see if I can help you out here. Why did I do that? Let's see if I can go to demonstration. All right, so that's right. You go to whop.com/championvibe. You can see the link right over here. And you click on Mastermind 1.0 with Jordan and Bueller. You hit buy now. I really hope this is not going to like leak something. All right, so then when you hit buy now, you simply can go to whatever I just did. So you see it says see details. This is on a computer. Click on see details and you hit add promo code. So you want to add champ, apply, and there's your $5 off. You can use champ, Bueller, or Jordan. If you're doing it on a phone, it's pretty much the same thing. Just look around, it'll say add coupon code. If you're using a phone and you don't know where it is, just DM me on Twitter @championvibe and I can help you. It's actually the same exact thing on the phone. I just did it myself on my phone. you just do the same exact thing. Just hit details where it says see details right under where you see it says 24.94. You click on that right there, and then it'll let you do it, right? So I hope to see you both there, Dividend Bull and Joe H. Thank you for asking. Helps out the rest too. And sorry if I keep sniffling. I'm not sick anymore, but my nose is just running a bit. But I was sick last week. And if I look sweaty, I am sweaty. I just got back from the gym. All right, moving on to Chinese names. Hang Seng Index, slightly down today. Kind of back within the wedge though, which I guess is okay. I'm sure a lot of you saw NIO had a good day today. It's a name we've been talking about on the stream for quite some time now. It was up 5%, even more in the middle of the day. There was actually a pattern. I don't know if it played out. I did send it. It did play out. Like right over here, I sent out this pattern in premium. So it looks like it did play out. And went a little bit higher, but then just went sideways the rest of the day. It just kind of looks like algos right there. But NIO just spent 2 months pretty much consolidating at support. 2 months. And then a breakaway gap today, 200-day moving average next, gap fill at 1022, which is also historical level. It could be time for NIO to go. I mean, if we zoom out, it's like a much larger looking double bottom here at $7. So, we will see what happens. Finally, let's take a look at metals, gold, little wedge breakout, nothing too crazy. I don't really see much of a pattern here. Let's look at silver, I guess. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Silver, this is just dead stuck in a range. Wow, kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders if you zoom out. Nonetheless, we can talk about equities now. All right, first off, SPY. I've been looking at this level 473 we talked about, I think, last Wednesday on stream. And you can see on Thursday, we went up to this level, we tested it, and we rejected it. We saw about a 1% pullback. Okay, we saw a 1% pullback after testing that level. Why did I draw out that level on the stream last Wednesday? Because of these highs from over here. Most newer traders with kind of an untrained eye would just zoom out on this chart and think that this all-time high is the only level. It actually is a very important level, don't get me wrong, but a more experienced trader will really see, okay, just below that all-time high, because we didn't really see a resistance there. That's just kind of where we topped out. Of course, there was a supply-demand imbalance. But where we actually saw resistance is the place in which we rejected 3 times, which are these 3 highs over here from pretty much the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. So that's where you've spent the last few days rejecting. You could definitely break above it. I'm not going to say this is going to be your exact top, but until we do break above it, I'm a little bit risk off. I mean, you still kind of have like this potential lower high double top look. Again, a double top wouldn't even technically matter unless you broke under the neckline, which would be 468.42. If I'm talking too fast for anybody, please watch the free course. It's in the YouTube description. You can also go to wap.com/championvibe. It's completely free, and you can learn about these terms that I'm talking about, or you can just ask me in the chat. But you did end the day with a 1 hour bearish engulfing candle, slightly lower high compared to last Thursday. On SPY, we move over to the Qs. Like I said earlier, you were 1 point away from hitting all-time highs on the Qs today. Slightly lower volume, but nonetheless you broke above last week's highs, unlike the SPY. So tech leading a little bit today. On lower time frames, you got a bullish engulfing on the 4 hour, but you also have classic bearish divergence on the MAC on the 4 hour. So a little bit of mixed variables here. All right. And again, just like you saw on SPY, you had a 1 hour bearish engulfing candle on the Qs. Here's the thing, all right? First of all, I have this pattern drawn out, but I don't know, like I only connected this line twice, only connected that line twice. I'm just gonna delete this. Here's what I did want to talk about. So if we chart views like this heading into tomorrow, keep in mind futures are relatively flat right now. Then yes, you have a rising wedge on the 15-minute. The other thing, however, is that we've seen this before, okay? At a rising wedge over here, all right? And what did it do? The market is just so bullish that it broke the rising wedge to the upside gapped up, and then proceeded to rip again another 2%. So yes, there is a rising wedge, but that does not mean I'm going all in puts. Puts still might work here, it still might break down and start to fade, but remember, it's a very bullish trend, okay? So that is something to keep in mind. All right. That's the QQQ. Looking at the Russell 2000, third day in a row, just kind of doing nothing. Pretty much consolidating between 196 and 200. Just continuing to wait and see which way that little 3-day range breaks. There's not much else you can do apart from that. It is a pretty important level historically. This is where the Russell topped out in August of last year, February, and July of this year. So we're retesting that level again. I do think that in time this will break higher, but again, you could definitely pull back, fill the gap, back test before breaking higher. Remember, this is a long-term breakout. This supply line I have is about 2 years long, so it takes some time to retest it before pushing higher, and that's pretty much how the overall market's looking. Nothing too much apart from that. Let's talk about the swings now. Tesla swing up 5%. It went up to Tesla's first resistance zone and it pulled back. It did print a shooting star candle on the daily. Even if this does continue to pull back, what you're looking for would be the back test, like I just talked about in the previous chart, to continue higher. All right, next up we have the ARK ETF, which is currently back testing the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders. Anything above 50 on this looks bullish to me. Look at these two major highs from 2018 and 2019 on the ARK ETF. As soon as I stop streaming, I need to figure out this. If you look at like the bottom of my screen where like the time and the date is, I don't know why it's glitching and I can't really read the date, but that's the ARK swing. Moving on, the close swing. Pretty quiet day today. It's still up 9%. This was alerted last week. It's just continuing to tag the 200 moving average and showing a little bit of resistance there. Hopefully it breaks it and gets that first target. It almost hit the first target on the first day of the swing. It was literally 3 cents off. And that would have been a 19% gain. Can you believe it? From 90 cents to $1.08, a 19% gain. I alerted this, I think last Tuesday or last Wednesday, and literally on Thursday, it almost hit the first target for a 19% gain. What did hit the first target in one day was Carvana, and now it's almost at the third target. So let's talk about Carvana next, which is now up 59% since the swing alert. This was alerted for free in the Discord. You didn't even need to be in premium. And this is up 59% since December 1st. This was alerted on the first day of the month in the Discord. I'm not going to ever force you to join the premium, but I am forcing you to join the free Discord. I mean, look at this. Discord.gg/free trading movement. The link is down there. And you are testing the ultimate level currently on Carvana at 56. All right, I had this level charted out since the day I put out the swing trade. Let's see if we can go scout where that was. Oh wow, it's literally right there. You can see that exact level was charted out. This is where it was alerted, and we are now literally right here. We went from here, which is where I put it out, to right here, and this is where we're at. And look, it's been a beautiful run on Carvana. It's pretty much this year Carvana is up 1,800%. Okay. And this is your third time testing this level. It's the end of the year. If we really zoom out and this level breaks, there is no resistance until $72, which would mean since if it were to hit that next resistance, that would be over 100% since the swing alert. So I don't know if it gets there, but we'll see. Continuing on, gold swing a little bit higher today. It's being kind of slow, but it's up about 3% right now. And testing a breakout, which is all you really want from a swing at the end of the day. So see if it can continue. It's kind of like a double inverse. Like, look at this. It's like inverse head and shoulders inception over here. This thing's got 4 shoulders. Wow. Zoom continuing to just go sideways after hitting the first target, and then a lift. It pretty much hit the second target today. I should probably throw this in the Discord right now. So any ticker requests, feel free to drop them in the chat right now and I will take a look. Let me just share with everyone that the lift swing pretty much worked out. It was maybe a few cents off, but what is going on here? All right. So that's the swings. I do see a low Microsoft document chat. We'll look at those in a second. Fisker did a move today. Already talked about Ride and Mara. Let's see what else I can talk about. Coinbase was up 4% today. Bullish engulfing candle, testing a breakout of the 150 level. After this, you have a gap fill at 177 pretty much. Just a really quick recap of some other names on my watch list. Amazon broke out. We've been talking about this Amazon range on the stream literally since it's been in the range. If we zoom out on Amazon, it's a major inverse head and shoulders. And I've been saying, I've been, can you hear that? I've been pounding the table, all right? $145 on Amazon. Look at these lows, look at this high, look at this high. That's why you spent 2 weeks consolidating there. And then this morning, I didn't trade it myself, but literally right at the open, I was talking about in the Twitter spaces with Wolf. You broke out of this daily range. I tweeted it out. It's on X. Well, I X'd it out. I don't know how. I'm really frustrated because I don't know how you're supposed to say you just posted something on X. You really can't say you tweeted something anymore. Regardless, I X'd something. At the open, you can go see the X, not the tweet. This is really confusing. Where I talk about Amazon breaking out, AI, how I'm watching $32 for a breakout, cough, cough, premium members. And I think Tesla was the other one which we already talked about. Zeke also mentioned this, and I was watching this today as well. NVIDIA, third time testing this all-time high range breakout after breaking out of the bull flag with hidden bullish divergence. So NVIDIA testing a breakout. This is going to be one of my top watches for tomorrow to see if it can break to new all-time highs. Let's set up a alert there at 5:05. Technically, that's your all-time highs on like the market session chart. If you were to include after hours, I think around the earnings in August, it did go up to like 519. So it wouldn't be literal all-time highs, but at least on like a market session chart, it would be. And apart from that, seeing any big movers, GameStop up a few more percent, got closer to that 200-day moving average. Netflix, beautiful retest of that zone, breaking away from it now. Next resistance and gap fill at 507. Nice chart with hidden bullish divergence too. That's actually really interesting. All right, I know Google is one of the requests. We'll take a look at Google. I've not been a fan of Google's chart over the past couple of months because it really just has not done much. Really, this is just a diamond pattern at this point, which is a neutral pattern. I'm not the best at drawing them, as you can clearly see, but it looks something like that. And it's basically a pattern that's quite obvious. Either that's going to happen or that's going to happen. It's not necessarily calling for anything. It's basically just saying that this period of low volatility should turn into high volatility within the next month or so. And I don't know if that means up. If it does, then probably 144 is your next level to retest. And if it means down, probably 120. Well, I already perfectly drew the red line like down to that level, 121 on the downside. All right, so I know this kind of looks like a classic drawing crayons and a squiggly line chart, but that's kind of what happens when Google does nothing since August/July. All right, let's take a look at low now. If you didn't already, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Taking a look at low, looks like, okay, I know I have this charted out. Like, these are not actual levels, but I was doing some wow, and it actually played out. That is amazing. In my internship at the New York Stock Exchange, I was looking at lows for earnings and using options, and I kind of made a formula to mathematically pretty much see where it should go after earnings. And you can see prior to the earnings, it was like right here. And I drew all these white lines because I was pretty much estimating that it would kind of range in between here. And I have not looked at this chart since the summer. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, especially like the last week is when I really entered it. So some good confirmation bias of what I was doing over the summer. I'm not sure if I can pull it up right now. These are the types of things that I'm really doing like off stream, apart from the Discord, just learning more and more about a bunch of different concepts in trading. So I can include things like that in the trading algo that's going to be coming out next year. It's not going to be this standard buy and sell signal bot that you see some people doing. It's going to be like an an actual system of scaling and not just like one or two little variables of code, like a RSI over bot or a moving average something. It's going to be like literally my whole entire system in one, which is why I don't expect it to come out anytime soon, because I'm not putting it out until it's really good and until it's proven. So if you're in premium, you're going to get it for free. So it's wap.com/championvibe. As long as you say it's signed up until it's out, you're going to get it for free. If you're not a premium member, then there will be a price for it. All right. And if you join premium after, you're also not going to get it for free. It's only going to be free for premium members who are signed up before it's out and stay signed up. But low, 222. Take a look at this level. Look at these three highs. It just broke above it. And your next level is 237. You do have a downside gap fill right over here at 216. There's not much of a pattern, but those are your levels. Microsoft. I think we did not look at it. It's fighting to stay alive, so I would probably delete this interpretation for right now and say that, hey, it's spent the last week flipping this high from July into a support. There's hidden bullish divergence. There's really good volume that came in on Friday. And if we're going to redraw it, it's starting to look more like a bull flag. That's a back test of this very long-term cup and handle. So I am going to switch my bias to Microsoft back to bullish. DocuSign, big level here is going to be 65. I guess you have a little bit of a zone of resistance right there. And that's really it. I mean, this is such a crazy chart. It just went from 38 to 60. It pretty much doubled. And it pretty much matched this high from June. That's what it's testing. And we just have to continue to see what pattern develops after that test of that level. Remember, typically once you go to up to test the level or down to test the level, you're not going to get a pattern in one candle. It's going to take at least like 6 or 7 to start even getting an idea of what pattern might be following that level test. Technicals, for the most part, doesn't work this way in every situation, but are typically, you know, like how they would say, first comes lightning, then comes thunder. First comes the level, then comes the pattern. The price gets to a level, the price creates a pattern around that level. You can trade the pattern based off that level, which means set your stop loss if it goes in the wrong way compared to that level. For an example, I know it might sound confusing. Price goes up to this level, right? And then just let's say DocuSign decides to start bull flagging, okay? And you can make your trade because the pattern created itself, hypothetically, and your stop loss would be according to that level. So since your level is this, it would therefore need to break above it for the trade to play out. If it didn't, then your stop loss would be there, okay? So that's a very simple philosophy towards trading. Hit the level, make a pattern, trade. If you don't hit a level, don't trade it. If you don't make a pattern, don't trade it. You need a level and you need a pattern. You need more variables than just a level and a pattern. You should probably be using volume or whatever else you prefer. I'm never going to tell you what to use and what not to use, but you definitely need a level and a pattern. And I'm not saying like everybody has to trade like these cup and handles and triangles. I'm not saying you have to trade those patterns, but even your system should have a pattern that you follow. It does not have to be the same lines you see everybody drawing on charts. Don't think I'm saying, wow, I didn't even mean to draw that, but it looks pretty cool. That's a really good downsloping channel. I'm simply just saying that when you're charting, you're looking at psychology. So you are looking at the past, and you need to find instances in the past which are represented in the pattern you're seeing today. I hope that makes sense. If you see this downsloping channel, you would want to see another scenario where DocuSign also had a downsloping channel and it played out. Case and point. All right. XOM. This is a pretty big range. You kind of just hit the bottom of it. You made classic bullish divergence, created a wedge. I would say this is bullish as long as it doesn't break 98.51. and your 200-day moving average should be your next stop at 108. So I would say that the reward to risk here kind of looks something to me like that. Glad to see you had a good day, Joel. Rivian pretty much hit the final target. Let me get some premium. Share it after the stream because I don't want to share everything premium. But yeah, Rivian, beautiful. I remember we were talking about it on the stream right over there on that day, and it has now pretty much hit all the targets of the swing trade and premium. The reason the third target is here is because of these highs from September, so you are hitting a local resistance. After that, you got 28, and then after that, you've got 33.71. Those are your next resistances. Keep in mind, it probably should pull back at some point. I would say your closest support level is going to be 22 from these highs over here. You've also got a little bit of a gap there, so these are your levels. Again, this is pretty much a chart with simply just levels and not really many patterns on it right now. And then MMM, kind of a double inside day. 104 support, 113 resistance. We really zoom out here, like whether you want to chart your trend line like this, which I would probably say makes a lot more sense, you kind of broke it, back tested it, or if you just want to match the highs, then you're kind of back testing the breakout right now. There is some sort of a longer term breakout being tested over here, and key point I would like to see us get back above is its COVID crash lows, which is pretty much around 113. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's stream. Hope you all had a great day. I've been working for the past 12 hours, so I'm gonna try to relax for a couple hours before I sleep now. And yeah, I know a couple of you already asked about where to find the mastermind / webinar, whatever you want to call it, this weekend. And you can find it in the pin chat, wap.com/championvibe. 5 speakers, 3 hours. It is less than the price of a cocktail in New York City to attend it. And if you apply the knowledge from this webinar correctly, you can buy as many cocktails as you want. All right. So wap.com/championvibe. Use code CHAMP for $5 off. Have a great night. I should be live trading tomorrow morning in the Discord. So premium members, 9:30 a.m. EST. I should be in there, ready to go. No promise I'm going to take a trade. If nothing shows, nothing shows. But if something does, we will strike, and I will pick a strike. All right. Have a great night, and I will also be live again tomorrow night. So I will see you there.